My dear child, rest your heart tonight, for the miracle you have longed for, the very hope your soul has eagerly awaited, will no longer remain a distant vision. Something extraordinary is quietly being prepared to unfold, not by human effort or wisdom, but by my own mighty hand. I am the Lord Jehovah, the Most High God, the one who does not change through the ages. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of all things. Nothing happens outside my will, and no power can prevent the fulfillment of the plans I have ordained for you. O my child, you will witness my divine intervention, not through grand displays or brilliant signs, but through the unfathomable power and endless mercy of your God. I am the one who crafted the stars, and I am the one who counts every silent tear you have shed. I know each prayer whispered in the darkness, every time you clung to hope with a heart feeling broken. Now I will answer, not because you have earned it, but because I am faithful. I have promised, and I never break my promises. I have declared, and no one can stop what I have spoken from coming to pass. My word is life. When I speak, the world takes shape. When I command, things that never existed come into being. When I call, everything in heaven and on earth trembles. Mountains cannot stand before my voice. The seas must yield. The heavens bow. I am not limited by nature's laws or human understanding. I am unaffected by time or circumstance. When I will something to be, it shall be, for I am the sovereign, almighty Lord of all, the source of every miracle. Tonight, you will no longer doubt. You will become a living witness to the presence of the Eternal One. You will see my hand move unmistakably, and what once seemed impossible, doors you thought were permanently closed, will suddenly open. No human logic will explain it, and no one will claim the glory, because what I am about to do is not for man's exaltation, but to reveal the greatness of the one in whom you trust. My dear one, do not let the delay discourage you. Do not let the long days of waiting deceive you into thinking I am silent. I have never forgotten. Not a single prayer has escaped my notice. Not one tear has been overlooked. What you mistook for delay has been preparation. I have been shaping your heart, clearing away what needed to be removed. Now, as the appointed time comes, nothing will hinder it. When I say now, all of heaven and earth must align. I declare the end from the beginning. I saw your victory even as you struggled with failure. I called you by name before the world knew you. I wrote your journey long before time began, not in ink that fades, but in an unchanging word. What I have ordained does not depend on man's approval. I will fulfill it, whether others understand or believe. I am the one who holds all things, and once I begin, no one can stop me. When all lights dim and night blankets the world, that moment is when heaven opens, a hidden gateway between divine and earthly realms. The prayers you lifted sincerely, the tears fallen silently on your pillow, the cries uttered in solitude that you thought no one heard, they have all reached my heart. Now, you will witness the miraculous, not because you deserve it, but because I am faithful, compassionate, and never fail to keep my word. Tonight, the invisible chains that once bound your soul, the ties that seemed unbreakable, will be shattered by my powerful hand. I am not only the one who sees your shackles, I am the one who breaks them. There is no yoke too heavy for me to remove, no captivity too deep for me to deliver you from. The burdens you've carried were never mine to place. They are the weight of struggles you tried to bear alone. But now, let me carry them. Let your shoulders be freed and your heart find rest, for I have declared, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. How many nights have you hidden your exhaustion behind a faint smile? How many days have you carried a heavy heart while still standing tall before others? But I do not see just outward appearances. I look deep into your heart. I see the silent battles you have fought, the wounds you dare not speak of, the whispered cries of frustration in the darkness. Today, I come not only to comfort you with a promise, but to lift you up with unstoppable power. I do not come to merely soothe, I come to act. I do not stand idle while you suffer, nor remain silent when you call. Fear, the terrifying companion that has haunted you, will no longer have power over you. You have trembled at what might come, suffocated by the weight of worst-case scenarios. But tonight, my presence will dispel that darkness, where I am the God of perfect love, and where perfect love dwells, fear cannot stay. I will breathe my spirit into your heart, and peace will flow like a river, calming every storm within. You will no longer live in caution or wrestle between faith and anxiety. I will place in you a new trust, steady as mountains, rooted like deep soil. What once seemed impossible, the closed doors, the buried dreams, the desires you thought had died, must now bow before my name. For I am the Lord God, unrestrained by circumstance or human logic. I create everything from nothing, make deserts bloom, and turn graves into resurrection places. Nothing is too late for me to restore, nothing too tangled to unravel. You once thought it would never happen, but I tell you, it is precisely when you stop hoping in human ways that I begin moving in heavenly ways. My child, do not limit me by your limitation. Do not assume I only move when conditions are favorable. I do not wait for the storm to pass. I am the one who calms the storm. I do not need doors to open. I open them, and no one can close them. Those who oppose my plans for you will witness my authority, not to destroy, but so they know I am the one true God, acting with justice and abundant mercy. Tonight, as you lie down, let your heart be still. Do not carry worries into sleep. Release your burdens and let me bear them. Lift your eyes. Your deliverance is nearer than ever. Open your heart wide. A miracle is approaching. You will no longer plead from despair, but stand in faith and praise, knowing with certainty that what is good is no fleeting illusion, but a reality about to manifest in your life. My beloved child, I have seen your trembling heart in trials, when what stood before you seemed beyond human endurance. I have watched you face mountains with hesitation, a heart burdened by worry, a voice whispering, "How will I get through this?" I heard your silent sighs amid howling winds and storms closing in, making you feel one more wave might sweep you away. I know the moments you stood at crossroads when shadows whispered, "It's over. No miracles await." But I, the living one who does not change, the creator of heaven and earth who knows every day of your life before they began, I declare, it is not over. Do not heed the enemy's voice whispering at night. He does not hold the pen of your story, nor can he write your final chapter. I alone am the author of your life and decide your ending. When you see the mountain as too high, that is when I prepare to lift you with my mighty hand. When the storm rages, remember I command the winds and speak to the seas to be still. No tempest can remain when I say, "Peace, be still." When you stand in rubble, when all seems lost, listen closely. What you hear is not the end, but the rumbling of a new beginning. I do not write your story in tear-smudged ink, but in the blood of the one who loved you to death. Every page of your journey is soaked in love, patience, and grace. I do not abandon stories midway. I complete what I begin. I did not start a good work in you to leave it unfinished. Every fall is not the end, but where I step in to lift you up. When all collapses, I build something unseen, more lasting, beautiful, and glorious than you have known. My child, I know you are weary. I see how often you wanted to stop, thinking there was no purpose left. But with the tenderness of a father, I urge you, do not stop now, not when you've just entered a difficult chapter. A sorrowful chapter does not define the whole story. A season of tears does not measure your life. Let me keep writing. Hand me the pen you've struggled to hold. Let me draw the road ahead, even if it looks different than you imagined. You may have hoped for an easy path, a happily ever after without pain. But do not fear the rocky places, for there you learn to trust me, not in circumstances, but in who I am. You will learn to lean not on your understanding, but fully on my faithfulness. You are refined like gold in fire. Not one tear has been wasted. So when you hear, "This is the end," let your soul answer, "No, this is the prelude to something glorious." When tempted to believe you will never rise again, remember, I raised the dead, gave sight to the blind, and forgave the worst sinners. I am not only the author of your story, I am the miracle within it. My child, do not judge the ending by the middle of your journey. A painting cannot be understood by one corner, a song not by a single note. Your life, a grand symphony I compose, cannot be defined by one dark chapter. Do not place a period where I am still writing. Do not close the door I am about to open. Do not retreat when glory is one step away. Rise, hold fast to faith. Let your heart be saturated with my word, not whispers of darkness. I am not finished with you. My plans have not ended. I will fulfill all I have begun, not in your timing, but the perfect moment I ordained. When you offer your brokenness, I exchange it for wholeness. When you lay before me your losses, I turn them into fullness. When you surrender dead dreams, I breathe new life into them. When you follow me again, even with faith as small as a mustard seed, you will see mountains move, seas part, and miracles bloom in deserts. You will see me, your author and redeemer, step into the chapter you thought was the end and begin something new. Restoration, life, and a destiny beyond imagination. My beloved, in this night's stillness, things unfold in the spiritual realm your eyes cannot yet see, but your spirit begins to perceive. Supernatural movements happen, not by earthly forces, but because I, the Most High, holding all time, am moving on your behalf. Even now, I shake heaven in response to your prayer. You have wept in silence, cried alone. But I, your Father, hear your trembling breath. I am acting. Tonight, I send my angels, radiant warriors of heaven, into your life's pathways. They do not come empty-handed. They carry my protection, provision, and commission. They fight for you where you cannot, tearing down invisible strongholds. The spiritual battles that left you powerless will now be carried by these hosts, and no force withstands when I command. My child, your circumstances are not beyond my control. The chaos you perceived, the random events, are being reordered by me like pieces of a grand design I have painted in quiet faithfulness. Do not be deceived. I am orchestrating, shifting, and clearing the way where you least expect. I am aligning divine connections, people, circumstances, doors, to bring you to the exact place in the sacred plan I set from the beginning. What was hidden beneath time's dust, lies, and clever disguises will be revealed by me. I see all. Nothing escapes me. I will unveil truth and show you all you need to walk in freedom and clarity at the appointed time. No more confusion, no more uncertainty. My light will shine into dark corners of your mind and life, exposing what was concealed. And child, what was once withheld, the promises prayed for but unseen, dreams frozen in time, blessings delayed by divine timing, are now releasing. The veil of hindrance lifts, heaven's flow opens. What was stagnant will move, not because you were perfect, but because the time has come for me to pour out what I have prepared. I have declared this the appointed time. The delay you thought was denial was preparation. Like a seed beneath soil before it breaks surface, what seemed silence was divine germination in darkness. Now a season of increase comes. I breathe fresh wind into your life, winds of acceleration and momentum. What was still begins to move. What seemed too late arrives on time, as I ordained. No power delays what I established. No human hand blocks what I opened. What you thought lost, I restore. Not just return, but multiply beyond what you held. Broken relationships, missed chances, wasted years. I hold power to make all into blocks for a radiant present and hopeful future. Do not mourn the past, I prepare something far greater. I do not take without giving something more precious. When I restore, I do not merely mend, I make all things new. Tonight, heaven moves. Not by great external force, but because I love you, have chosen you, see you worthy of rescue, freedom, and full divine destiny. Though you doubted yourself and questioned worth, my view never changed. To me, you are always beloved, the precious gem I hold, the creation into which I poured my heart. So lift your head even if tears remain. Stand tall even if legs tremble. You no longer walk alone. I go before you, my angels walk beside you, and all heaven's power moves in your favor. The enemy thought it had won, but did not know you are in divine reversal. A new chapter unfolds, a new season breaks, and you will step into it with open hands and a heart ablaze. Tonight, lie down and rest, not in worry or fear. Let your soul be still, like a field beneath a starry sky. For in this sacred stillness, I move most powerfully. Sleep confident that when you rise, all will not be the same. The supernatural has begun. A new door has opened, and your story, the one I write, has entered its brightest chapter yet. You are the reason heaven moves tonight. You are the echo summoning angels into motion. You are appointed to witness my divine intervention. Be ready, receive it, for the miracle has begun, and I will not stop until every word spoken over you is fulfilled fully and gloriously. My beloved child, quiet your soul in this sacred moment, for something profoundly divine unfolds in the spiritual realm, something your heart must open to perceive. Every word I speak, without exception, never falls void or returns empty. My word is unchanging, eternal, majestic, like my presence. It is established in heaven as an everlasting flame that no time, circumstance, or earthly force can extinguish. Since eternity, my word has been set in motion before your birth, before the universe formed. And now, even in this moment, when your heart is weary and your breath heavy with sighs, my word works. It is no longer a distant promise, but a reality unfolding. Do not think you must wait longer. Do not assume miracles only come with sky-breaking brilliance. No, even now, in deepest darkness, my word fulfills. My grace does not wait for perfect conditions. It arrives when you need it most, when all else is silent. Picture this, a table prepared for you, not in peace but in battle, amid those who sought to harm you, slandered your name, and tried to drown you in despair. There I, your Father and King of Kings, lay a feast before you, not just to satisfy hunger, but to honor you in adversity. This is where I restore your dignity. This is where I anoint your head with oil, filling you with unending goodness and mercy. Your enemies watch powerless. They see me lift you from the deepest pit, the place they thought you'd never rise. They rejoiced when you fell, were smug when you were overwhelmed, but they did not know I was always there, watching, counting every tear, preparing this day, the day of divine reversal, when my hand pulls you from failure, wipes your garments clean, and sets you on an unshakable foundation. I am your unshakable fortress, your refuge in storms. When all crumbles, I remain strong, faithful, immovable. I stand between you and enemy wrath. When arrows fly, I am your shield. When schemes are laid, I shatter them. I will not let the wicked mock your pain. What they sow, they will reap. Their traps will ensnare themselves. I am your defender. No one can prevail against those who walk with me. The tongues that spoke against you, those who twisted truth, hurled accusations, spread lies, will be silenced. Not because you defend yourself, but because I am righteous judge. I will speak for you, reveal truth. You will not need to argue. I will vindicate you with my power. Let those who mocked witness the glory I pour on your life. Let those who abandoned see you walk in supernatural restoration, not by your strength, but my steadfast grace. Every weapon the enemy forged, actions, words, circumstances, fears, will fail. Though crafted when they meet my protection, they break. The wicked may plan, but without my permission, they cannot succeed. What I forbid will never breach the mighty shield I placed around you. I cover you with my presence, with love stronger than death, with light piercing darkest night. Every accusing tongue will be broken. No verdict by man stands when I, the Most High, declare you forgiven, chosen, deeply loved. You need not prove yourself. I have called you righteous, a truth surpassing all condemnation, rising above judgment, silencing cruel words meant to diminish your worth. Do not live in the shadow of your past. Do not let fear of judgment bind your soul. Let go. Trust me, for when I declare you free, no person, spirit, or sin can hold you captive. You are no longer victim but victor, not by great deeds but by choosing to believe in the greatest one. Now walk boldly. Lift your head. Live knowing you are loved, protected, provided for. Carry the King of Glory's presence within. You do not walk alone. I lead before you. I stand behind to guard. I uphold you beside. My spirit dwells within. I have spoken, I will fulfill it. My word cannot be revoked. It works, making a way, reviving what you thought dead, restoring parts you buried in silence. It draws you closer to the divine destiny designed since eternity. My child, believe this. What I begin, I complete. Not a word from my mouth is forgotten. Each will come to pass, fully, gloriously, beyond all you imagined. I am Jehovah, the God who never breaks a promise. You, beloved, are living testimony of my faithfulness on earth. What I do for you is not only answer to prayers, but proof of my unchanging love. A love not limited by circumstance, unshaken by time, never withdrawn. In your weakness, I heard your silent groans. I saw you crumble under unbearable burdens. Now I rise for you. No one can stop what I've set in motion. No power can oppose the good plans I have for you. You once lay in shadows of physical pain, waves of agony reminding you how fragile life is. You wrestled through exhaustion, treatments, uncertainty about tomorrow. But I, Jehovah Rapha, your healer, have heard you. I did not turn away from your suffering or ignore your tears. I placed my healing hand upon you. I do what medicine cannot, what doctors can only assist. I dissolve pain, soften hardened places, restore what was broken. My breath flows into every living cell, knitting, renewing, reviving. I heal not only your body but your weary soul. I lift you from despair, doubt, fatigue. You are no longer defined by doctors' words, human opinion, or fear. You are defined by me, the healer, the one who calls you free, reborn. Likewise, the debt weighing on your life like a heavy stone, making each day anxious, each night restless. I saw it all. I saw you counting coins, worrying over payments, carrying shame, wondering if it was failure's sign. But I do not see you with condemnation. I see you with mercy. I know you cried out for help. Now I come as rescuer and father to provide abundance and glory. I am Jehovah Jireh, your provider. I do not just cancel debt, I heal emotional wounds, the shame, anxiety, inferiority. I open rivers where none flowed, pave paths where none existed. Resources once unreachable will come to you. Doors slammed shut will open, past rejections overturned. My provision is not for mere sufficiency but overflow. You will no longer tighten belts in fear of lack, but rejoice in gifts from an unfailing source. And my child, I saw your tears over broken relationships. I saw how you held on to what crumbled. I heard your prayers for forgiveness. I felt your longing for miracles to restore what time, hurt, and misunderstanding tore apart. I did not ignore your quiet sobs for those once loved but now distant. Know this, I am God of restoration. I do not merely patch, I rebuild from the ground up. I restore roots, hearts, understanding, humility, repentance, real love. I intervene. I soften hardened hearts. I rebuild bridges deemed beyond repair. I shift perceptions, emotions, attitudes, not just in you, but in those who turned away. Not to shame, but to raise all in love, forgiveness, and divine compassion. I reconcile families, mend shattered hearts, turn weeping into praise. I do this again and again in your life. All these, healing, provision, restoration, are one symphony, woven by my hand, composed uniquely for you. And I do this not because you earned it, not because you checked all boxes, but because you are my child, loved with unconditional, unceasing, tireless love that surpasses all boundaries, failures, and time. So walk forward with renewed heart. Believe what you thought closed is now opened by me. What seemed the end is the start of a new chapter. What bound and suffocated you, what made you doubt your strength, dissolves in my presence. Let me be your healer, provider, restorer. Know me not just in theory, but in life. Walk with me daily and witness me move in real, powerful ways. I am never late. I come exactly on time. Your time, beloved, is now. There were days you felt breathless, overwhelmed, collapsing, forgotten, unheard. But I was there, even in the deepest pit. I stayed beside you. Today, you will know. What the enemy meant for destruction becomes the foundation for my glory revealed through you. The enemy rejoiced too soon, betting on your pain, fatigue, and wounds. It threw lies, fear, condemnation, hoping you'd give up. But it never expected the resurrection power within you, a strength not of man, but of the one who called life from death, rolled away stones raised from ashes. It cannot silence me. When I speak, hell falls silent. When I declare life, every chain breaks. No grave, no wall can hold a soul I call. I am eternal life, and that life lives in you, a life that cannot be buried. You thought it was over, but it was the beginning, where miracles are born, where I lift the veil to restoration, victory, and life beyond understanding. What was broken, I make new. Dead dreams, I breathe into life. I do not rebuild the old, but make all new. From your ruins, I raise a glorious work, a living testimony of my power. The enemy underestimated you because it never saw you as I do. It saw brokenness. I saw formation. It saw defeat. I saw a warrior forged by fire. It saw ashes. I saw a flame about to ignite. You rise not by your will, but by my grace. When my grace flows, nothing can stop it. Remember, resurrection power is for today, this moment that seems too late. Resurrection starts not in graveyards, but in a heart willing to believe. You believed, a faint hope enough to move me. I saw that seed and stirred a storm of new life. My beloved, I never promised no falls, but I promised to lift you each time. I never said no tears, but I promised to wipe them and turn them into seeds of praise. I never said no sorrow, but guaranteed no pain is wasted. I transform what the enemy meant to destroy into tools drawing you nearer to your divine destiny. Now, step out of fear's grave. Step out of mourning's garments. Step out from shame's hiding place. You do not belong there. I have awakened and called you forth. No power can drag you back. You are resurrected. You carry resurrection's mark. You were made for light, not silence of buried past. Rise, not with trembling, but firm steps. Not wounded, but mended by my unconditional love. You are no longer a survivor, but a victor. Not because you avoided battle, but because you endured it with me and emerged crowned. You will proclaim, I was once in the deepest place, and it was there he found me. You will testify of the one who never left, who lifted you from the pit, who refused your story end in darkness. All will see it was not your strength that saved you, but that I in you was stronger than failure. My beloved, resurrection is a living truth. You now walk in it. Do not look back where you fell. Look ahead where I wait with open arms. Every step from now is a step of triumph, not by your might but by the one who raised you. I am the one who speaks. No power silences me. I ordain. No force cancels my plans for your life. Your story is not over. It's just beginning, with a new chapter of light authored by me. You, beloved, will be living proof that resurrection power is alive, moving, rewriting destinies. Oh, dear child, let your heart immerse in this divine truth. It is no longer distant, but a living reality unfolding in your life. The same power that raised my son, the one who died for humanity from death's depths, is at work within you. This is not imagination or empty comfort. This is holy reality transforming you from within. The Holy Spirit, Spirit of life, unbound by time and space, performs miraculous restoration inside you. Gently, silently, powerfully, He breathes life into what you declared dead. Perhaps a dream once cherished but buried after many disappointments. Perhaps faith that once burned bright but dimmed through drought and hardship, leaving cold ashes. Perhaps a love, hope, calling, or your true self denied because you thought it impossible. Now look again with faith. Something stirs inside. A new breath, a spark rising from where you thought dry and withered. Not your effort, but the Holy Spirit's work. He comes not to judge or remind you of failures, but to heal, renew, restore, transform. He does not ask if you are strong or demand perfection. He moves by boundless mercy and the unwavering love I have for you since before time. Tonight, in the silent atmosphere, heavens tremble with unspeakable joy, not because of worldly triumph, but because something sacred happens. You are being restored, a soul renewed, a broken heart healed. A life once buried is lifted and clothed in new life. Heaven sings, angels rejoice with praise. My mighty hand is not limited by your heart's barrenness. It does not flinch at your wounds or old scars. That hand, which painted stars, set ocean boundaries, fashioned you in detail, is now rebuilding your life, gently, deeply, lovingly, and surely. Pause amid life's rush and feel the new rhythm rising. The Holy Spirit whispers, I am still here. I have never left. I am doing something new. Can you hear it? That whisper moves through your being, breath, and every small movement. If you open your heart, you will sense it. Sorrow lifted, ancient fears fading, buried things rising, not to haunt, but to heal, transform, and serve a greater purpose. Beloved, remember, when I resurrect, it is not to return things as they were, but better, stronger, more beautiful. What passes through sorrow, restored in me, carries triumph's glory. It becomes not failure's symbol, but testimony of redeeming power. You, rising from ruins, will not just survive, but carry the Holy Spirit's living flame, igniting hope in those still in darkness. I know your doubts, moments thinking I went too far. But no path is too far for me, no wound too deep to heal, no fragment too small for me to gather and restore. All things reborn by my breath, life given by my love. You are called home and raised, not with patchwork but new, free, fearless, full of light. Let tonight be a milestone, not a fleeting moment, but the start of new life. From now, walk in deep awareness that the Spirit of the Risen One lives, moves, and walks with you. You are no longer who you were. You are renewed by your Creator's hand. No accusation from your past can touch you. No whisper of failure threatens you, for I have called you beloved, chosen, resurrected. Engrave this truth as a divine decree. The life I gave you is not fleeting but full. It cannot be stolen or buried. You shall live, not merely survive, but display my glory. Be a light in darkness and answer those seeking miracles. You are not lost. You are being led home. Not a ruined remnant, but glorious restoration. Not a victim, but a victory carrier. This is why heaven rejoices. My power reveals fully in you. My precious child, You stand at a sacred moment, not to be taken lightly, a divine turning point ordained from eternity past. I call it your appointed moment of holy reversal. This is no fleeting change or human effort, but my loving, powerful intervention right in what seemed a dead end. I watched every weary step, every long night, every silent disappointment, and say, none was the end but the foundation for radiant transformation beyond all you knew. You fell into deep pits where no light remained, prayers faded to silence. But there I remembered every cry. From that pit, I lift you to a place of glory. What others saw as dead end, I chose as groundwork for something new. The pit that swallowed faith becomes where others see my glory through you. For this is my nature. I raise the lowly, turn ashes to crowns, transform abyss into miracle birthplace. When you walk through the valley of darkness, where only sighs and pain's shadows followed, you thought it was the final stretch. But I orchestrated that path, not to bury, but to lead you to the mountaintop of divine revelation. That valley shaped your heart, removed burdens never yours, softened your spirit for elevation. The summit I prepared cannot be reached by smooth roads. Your feet are scarred, but those steps lead to heights you never dreamed. When you look back, you will know I led you, even when unseen. The pain you avoided, resented, tried to forget is no longer weakness. I touch, transform, redefine it. That pain surrendered to me becomes supernatural power, not from status but inward strength, forged in affliction's fire, steadfast in my love. In weakness, you learned to depend on me. When you stopped leaning on yourself, my power was perfected in you. You will not just be healed, but carry healing balm for others, just as you were once wounded. What was stolen, joy, peace, relationships, opportunities, years, will not just return. I am God of abundance. What was lost will be restored with multiplied reward. I do not repay by human measure. I increase and lavish blessings. When the enemy thought it won, it didn't see I prepared a greater harvest than you lost. The seeds you sowed in tears, faithfulness, obedience are now yielding unstoppable harvest. What grew beneath sorrow's soil breaks through with radiant promise. Hands once trembling in darkness now reap joy and light. Those who pitied, whispered regret, thought you failed forever, will be amazed and silenced by what I bring forth. Not for revenge, but so all know there is a true, mighty God who lifts lowly, never abandons, moves gloriously amid doubt. Your life becomes living testimony, redemption melody, grace-authored book, each page a miracle, each line sacred transformation. My beloved, this is your hour, not because you earned it, but because I chose it. Not because you're strong, but because my power is enough. Not because you're steady, but because I am unshakable. This is when all that opposed you will be overturned. This is divine intervention season. This is the hour all that seemed lost returns, renewed, radiant, blessed. Open your heart to receive. Do not let painful memories cause retreat. Release your grip on past. I do not recycle decay, but bring forth new. Prepare for the river of new life about to surge. Expand your mind to walk through doors I open. Prepare to stand on a stage you didn't build, but I designed from the world's foundations. You won't need to defend your journey. The outcome will speak. Transformation visible will prove my limitless power. When asked how, you'll say, by my God who never left me, turning endings into beginnings. You walked by faith with no assurance. You kept your heart aligned amid distortion. You chose patience when your soul cried for surrender. You trusted when all urged giving up. I, who never miss your faithfulness, will reward those lost years beyond imagination. You will not end this night empty-handed or season with a wounded heart. Your faithfulness will not be in vain. Your path was fruitful. Even unseen, I worked. Even forgotten, I attended every detail. You are not storm survivor, but victor refined by fire. I prepared a harvest only you can enter, because you did not quit, you did not curse me, you did not trade your call for comfort. What you carry out of this is not ashes, but precious stones, not past fragments, but trophies of restoration. I used pain to forge endurance, silence to teach listening, lack to show I alone am your source. Now this new season unfolds. I offer not just peace, but fullness. Not worldly fullness, but divine abundance where your soul is filled, no longer shadowed by lack, but graced fully. My child, I never promised all you want, but promised never to lack what you need. My goodness follows you all days, not only in strength, but weakness. Not only when right, but even when stumbling. My goodness never leaves. It shadows you faithfully, lights your path, stays beside like a friend. I say this to seal it eternally in your heart. You are stepping not just out of an old season, but into a new era, not defined by loss, but by what I pour in. You sowed in tears, now reap in joy. You endured conflict, now dwell in peace beyond understanding. You longed for change, now be that change for others. Prepare to receive. Don't shrink expectations because of past. I move not by wounds, but by the blueprint I wrote before your formation. Do not let failure memories reject the miracle. Do not let past silence stop you from stepping through the now open door. I am beginning something new, unlike anything you've ever experienced before. Expand the tent of your heart. Make space for blessings. Create room for me to fill. I have not come to merely mend the old. I have come to transform the entire fabric of your life, from your thoughts, feelings, and steps to how you love, believe, and pray. Everything will be renewed. You will start to see others through my eyes. You will love this life with the heart I have placed within you. You will speak words that bring life. Through you, I will heal those suffering from the very struggles you once faced. You are no longer the one wandering in darkness without direction. My light has risen upon you. The promises once scattered like the wind are now blossoming. The seeds you thought were lost have sprouted. My child, this is no longer a distant hope. This is reality. This is the time when I redeem the years that were swallowed. This is the moment when the reward is placed in your hands, not to keep, but to share as one who has been saved. Do not fear stepping into the new. Do not look back. Behind you lies darkness, before you light. Behind you hollow laughter, before you a song of praise flowing from true gratitude. I am inviting you into what no eye has yet seen. If you dare to believe, if you dare to step forward, you will witness my hand moving in ways no one can deny. I have not forgotten you. I will never forget. The years behind were not wasted. They were the soil prepared for this new season, and that season is now. My precious child, as you walk deeper into this divine turning point, I urge you with all my heart, do not falter. Do not let what you see with your natural eyes steal your spiritual vision. Do not allow whispers from shadows to drown out the voice that once rang clearly in your soul. Even if the winds roar, even if the storm persists, do not let your soul be shaken. Stand firm like a tree rooted deep in grace's soil, for the moment you have long awaited is no longer a distant dream. It has arrived. It is here. It is rising all around you. Hold tightly to the promise I have placed within your heart, a promise not made by man, not bound by time, and not swayed by changing circumstances. My word is an unshakable foundation, a lamp shining in the darkest night, a river flowing through the driest desert. You do not have to understand everything to believe. You only need to trust that I do not speak in vain. Every word I have spoken is alive and full of life. Every promise is a sacred covenant, and I, the faithful one, will personally bring them to fulfillment. Do not let temporary silence choke your faith. Do not measure my faithfulness by human clocks. I am never late. I am never absent. I am at work, and what you cannot yet see is not unreal. I am building wonders on invisible foundations. Let your faith surge like a mighty wave that crushes doubt. Let your trust in me outweigh your fear of the unknown. For the miracle you have longed for is no longer just coming, it is here. It is moving around you, within you, and will soon be revealed so clearly no one can deny it. The doors that once slammed shut, those you knocked on until your hands bled, those sealed as if forever, are now opening. Not by your strength or cleverness, but because my key has turned the lock of time. I have cleared the way. I have commanded even the most stubborn doors to swing wide. No force can close what I have opened. The walls that once seemed impenetrable, built over years of doubt, fortified by the enemy's lies, strengthened by fear amassed in dark seasons, are now falling. Not with loud crashes or explosions, but by my authority seeping in like gentle rain that wears away stone. I do not need spectacle to act. When I bring down walls, they crack not just on the outside, they dissolve from within. Once they fall, no human hand can rebuild them. The heavens are opening. Lift your eyes and see with the eyes of your spirit, for what you prayed for is falling like the early rains of spring. I am pouring out blessings beyond your understanding, surpassing your expectations, exceeding even the prayers you whispered in hesitant faith. The outpouring of heaven is no longer withheld. The sacred rivers rush forth, carrying grace, healing, renewal, deliverance, and abundant measurelessness. And the ground beneath your feet, the ground you thought barren and empty, responds. The seeds you planted in tears, faithful steps, and solitary prayers are breaking through the earth. Life emerges quietly but steadily. Do not judge the harvest by speed, but by the depth of roots. Your roots of faith have grown deep enough to endure every storm. Now is the time you will see what I have nurtured in hidden seasons. I know you have looked to the sky, asking, Lord, where is the sign? When will the miracle come? Where are you in all my suffering? You sought something unmistakable. A sea parted, fire from heaven, thunder shaking the earth. But beloved, some miracles come not in storms, but in the still breeze. Some signs do not blaze with light, but arrive as the quiet dawn illuminating the dark soul's corners. I have been moving around you in ways your eyes have not yet perceived. I whispered to your heart in moments that seemed meaningless. I rearranged circumstances, redirected your life's course, mended invisible tears, and placed you exactly where you belong in the grand design I orchestrated. I have not delayed. Everything has come in its appointed time. Everything is falling perfectly into place. My child, today I invite you to quiet your soul and look again. Count every small detail once dismissed as coincidence, and you will see my fingerprints on each. From unexpected meetings to encouraging words of strangers, from gentle stirrings in your spirit to doors quietly opened without force. These are me. These are signs. These are the miracles you once prayed for. I do not come with noise. I come with certainty, with power that does not boast. Open your heart to recognize the greatness around you. Let your faith no longer flicker as a fragile flame, but rise and shine as a lamp lighting the land. Live as one standing in the middle of a miracle, not one coming, but already unfolding. Do not let familiarity deceive you into thinking nothing new is happening. I am making all things new. If you are still enough to hear, deep enough to feel, and brave enough to keep believing, you will behold what no eye has ever seen. Do not doubt any longer, my beloved. This is your moment, the time when faith turns into fulfillment, the season of expansion. And I, the unchanging one, go before you, move on your behalf, and dwell within you. The miracle is no longer a distant promise. It lives in every breath you take. Walk forward, not as one waiting, but as one already living in the manifestation. You begged for a sign, lifting your eyes, hoping heavens would split, longing for a divine earthquake. a sky-shaking explosion proving beyond doubt that I am at work. You waited for the earth to tremble to confirm my presence. But, my child, I chose to come not through violent shaking, but through gentle peace. I do not perform spectacles. I am the God of the deep, the God of quiet places only hearts trained to listen discern. I entered your life like a dawn breeze. I came into your room while you lay weary in bed. I was there when you poured water, opened a window, stepped out to catch the last light, not knowing it was I sending a tender touch amid storms. You waited for thunder to move mountains, but I whispered peace, a nameless warmth that brought tears you did not understand. You sought miracles distant and dazzling, but my child, the truth is you have lived in the miracle all along. Each heartbeat, each breath chosen to go on, each time you stood after brokenness. That is proof I am at work. Every day you open your eyes, even with confusion, and keep moving forward. That shows I uphold you. You missed it because you expected grand miracles, but I brought it simply. A friend's call at the right time, a stranger's kindness, a faint flicker of hope on despair's edge. You thought I'd come in blazing fire or thunderous voice. But dear child, I often choose the ordinary, so you learn to love and trust me, not just on mountaintops, but in quiet valleys. I am not just God of spectacular. I am God of steady breaths, silent steps, inner healings without noise. When you expected shaking, I chose stillness so you could recognize me with spirit, not senses. When you wanted dazzling signs, I was in morning mist, birdsong, peaceful comfort amid chaos. You lived within my mystery, but mistook it for nature or chance. But in me, nothing is normal. The greatest miracle is not when storms cease or seas part, but when your heart beats full in a broken world. A miracle is not just external intervention, but quiet transformation within. That, beloved, is what I have done and am doing still. Today, I invite you to look again with new eyes. Look back on your journey. Count small things once overlooked. Remember times you almost fell but stood firm. Reflect on unexpected chances, people who arrived just when needed, words that touched your soul. None are random. They are living evidence of miracles I poured out, am pouring out, and will continue to pour out. When you see this, your eyes open wider than ever. You will know I am not only the God of Scripture's stories. I am alive and active in your life. You will walk each day deeply aware you are not alone. My presence is not only in sacred moments, but always in kitchens, streets, desks, quiet, tearful rooms. You will live with gratitude, not because all is perfect, but because in everything I have been with you. That gratitude ignites new faith. It opens doors. I give more to those who see miracles without fireworks, without angels. My child, do not wait for spectacular signs to believe I am working. Believe because you live. Believe because you walk on. Believe because every detail, from morning smile to last breath, bears my fingerprint. A miracle need not dazzle. It must be real. This is the season I move powerfully amid chaos. In the world's clamor, in restless minds, I do profound, unshakable work. Know I work in greatest power, not to impress, but to restore. Not to repeat, but to create new. I lift souls once cast down. Reach out to those trapped by despair and wounds. Those forgotten, underestimated, bound by pain, shame, rejection. They will see my light shine through. Chains will dissolve. Captive spirits will be freed. I unlock prison doors, bandage crushed hearts, restore what seemed lost forever, the broken pieces of your life, the memories buried beneath dust. I gather them now and craft something new through unfading love. What the enemy plotted to destroy, schemes, deceit, whispers, faith-wearing wounds, hold no power. I turn evil to good, transform traps into stepping stones. These become radiant testimony of my resurrection power's limitlessness. The enemy meant your pain to undo you. I use it to forge you stronger, deeper, more connected to me. What once seemed impossible, the shut door, faded dream, unchangeable circumstance, is being transformed at the root. I do not just make things better, I make all things completely new. Limits that hindered you are shattered, hopeless paths cleared, cold hearts softened by my Spirit's heat. For my Spirit moves without delay, limits, or hindrance. Imagine a river unstoppable, flowing through rocks, deserts, barren lands, bringing life, healing, renewal. That is how my power flows now, like a river surging endlessly. My Spirit covers you with a force beyond words. This is no fleeting visit, this is abiding presence. This moment I do not just touch you, but desire to walk with you daily. I do not come to soothe briefly, I come to transform forever. Therefore, my child, do not remain still. Do not stay silent while heavens open, and I lean to hear every sigh, every whispered prayer. Open your mouth and pray. Do not underestimate the authority I placed on your tongue. In weakness, I give authority. In this world's silence, I place heaven's fire on your lips. Every word you speak in faith does not vanish. It echoes through heavens and shakes earth. I gave you not just forgiveness, but power to declare and establish my word. When you proclaim my word, not from emotion but faith, it shall come to pass. Remember, the word on your lips carries authority equal to mine. Not because you are worthy, but because I chose to place that authority in believers' hands. Be bold in confession. Draw the sword and speak what you've held inside. Declare life over death. Proclaim light in darkness, speak restoration into brokenness. Your lips are not only for lament but victory gateways. Every faith-filled word sparks spiritual response. Walls crumble, chains break. Dark kingdoms tremble when the righteous pray. Bind works of darkness, name lies, attacks, deceptions circling your thoughts and feelings. Renounce them boldly with heaven's authority. When you declare truth, lies vanish like morning mist under rising sun. When you say no to the enemy, you speak not in weakness, but from redemption. Call forth the promises I spoke. They are not dreams, but your spiritual inheritance, your rightful possession. Remind me, not because I forget, but so you remember. In calling them forth, the promise activates. The seed breaks open, heaven responds. You will see blessings rain, not in distant future, but starting now in your prayers today. Oh, my child, do not live passively while I call you to partner with me. Do not wait for what is coming without declaring it now. I place power within you to break through. I placed the Spirit's sword on your lips. I kindled life's flame in your heart. Now is the time to use what I gave, not just to defend, but to advance. Not merely to preserve, but to possess. I entrusted you a spiritual weapon no one can deny. Now I invite you to wield it like never before. I gave you authority in your tongue, not to hold back in fear, but to act boldly. Drive out darkness. Do not stay silent when I gave you a voice with heaven's authority. Do not let fear or unworthiness bind you in silence. The trap enemy wants you in. As long as your lips are sealed, my power remains unreleased. But when you speak, shifts begin, in natural and spiritual realms. Every prayer from your heart never vanishes. They reach my throne, shake heavens, stir angels, unleash heavenly interventions. Every sincere prayer, whispered or wept, can tip spiritual battles. When you call my name, the name above all names that casts out demons, heals, frees, opens, the angels go at my command. They do not hesitate or delay. Some angels wait just for your call. Do not keep them waiting. Do not restrain heaven's power by silence. When you declare my living, unchanging word, the word that created the universe, the enemy must flee. It cannot stand truth. It trembles at my name. It dissolves at my words spoken by a believing heart. Enemy fears not your feelings or worries. It fears your speaking my word. Each syllable is a blazing arrow from heaven's arsenal. My child, Do not underestimate the power in faith-filled words. When you speak truth, faith, and surrender, you do more than comfort yourself. You proclaim decrees from the King of Kings' throne. These declarations open the way for my hand to move. They create spiritual space for my will on earth as in heaven. If your life feels surrounded, if my promises seem unfulfilled, if heavens feel closed, do not sit and wait for change alone. Open your mouth, speak life, declare my truths inscribed on your heart. Repeat my promises, call them forth in faith. Speak what is not as though it were, for that is what I have done since the beginning. You need not wait for the right feeling to speak. You only need obedience. Obedience opens heavens. Faith declarations silence accusation. When you speak right, you shape not only now but the future. You build a spiritual legacy for you and loved ones. Do not hesitate or delay. Every silent moment lets enemy advance. Every word you declare pierces darkness, a torch lighting fog. Speak freedom even when imprisoned. Declare healing even while in pain. Proclaim victory amid battle. Not self-deception, but choosing belief in unseen truth your spirit knows. That is faith. Faith is the door miracles enter through. My child, if you saw what happens in heaven when you pray, you'd never stop praying. If you could see angels dispatched, chains breaking, darkness trembling, you'd never underestimate your voice's power. Beloved, now rise as a warrior, not with sword or spear, but proclamation. Not earthly weapons, but divine truth. You don't need to shout to be heard. Speak my words. Each carries heaven's weight. Each can reshape destiny. I didn't place your voice to be silent. I gave it to stir life. Use it to call forth good and truth. Speak to mountains, not about them. Declare healing, freedom, restoration, righteousness. These promises will come. Do not let enemies steal your spiritual voice. Do not let past extinguish your lips' fire. Do not let weariness silence what I placed in your heart. Through your mouth I will act. Through your voice doors open. Through your prayers a generation transforms. Now lift your sincere prayer to me. Heavenly Father, tonight I come with a heart full of expectation and overflowing faith. I open my soul wide to receive the miracle you promised. Open my eyes, Lord, to see your hand at work. Open my heart to believe the impossible is possible by your power. I declare tonight is no ordinary night, a night of transformation, reversal, promises fulfilled in my life. O Jehovah, Alpha and Omega, beginning and end, I surrender fully under your authority. When you speak, nothing resists. When you act, no one prevents. I do not rely on feelings or timing. I rely on your word, unshakable, flawless, eternal. Let my heart be still and trust, for you fulfill your divine plan, and your words never return void. Lord, you've seen my silent tears. You know my sleepless nights bearing unspoken burdens. Though I once cried, how much longer? Tonight I ask no more, for I understand. In waiting, you shape my spirit. Through pain, you prepare greater glory. Use all I've endured to magnify your name. I believe no ache is wasted, and this dark night preludes your radiant dawn. Almighty God, I lift my hands in surrender and cry for deliverance. Tonight, break every chain binding my soul. Lift every burden I carry. Drive out every fear by your perfect love. I am no longer chained by past, no longer slave to anxiety or doubt. Tonight I declare freedom. Breathe deliverance upon me now. O Lord, my protector and deliverer, rise against every enemy scheme tonight. Render every weapon powerless. Silence every slander and false judgment. Turn every plan of destruction into a foundation for your glory. I take refuge in your holy name's strong tower. Lift me above darkness's assaults. Keep me steadfast in you, working in great and hidden ways. Thank you for quiet miracles I overlooked. Thank you for breath in my lungs, life's gift each morning, and every unseen danger you shielded me from. Thank you for peace beyond understanding, for hope blooming in despair, and for the fact I still stand. That alone is a miracle. Help me recognize your presence in life's simplest details. Jehovah Rapha, God who heals, I open my heart to receive your healing tonight. From body to spirit, emotions to memories, let your spirit restore every broken place. Revive what seemed dead, rebuild what was shattered, comfort where pain once dwelled. I believe your power flows like living water, bringing fresh, complete life to me. Jehovah Jireh, God who provides, I step into the new season you prepared. You see clearly the doors you open, delays you remove, and new paths you make straight. You've just stepped into a divine encounter, and this is only the beginning. If something stirred in your heart, if even one line felt like it was written just for you, then know this: God is not done. He's just getting started. Miracles are unfolding in quiet places. Healing is rising like the dawn. And each time you return here, you'll find a fresh word, a deeper comfort, a clearer direction. So don't let this be the end of your journey. Let it be your new beginning. Subscribe now, turn on the notification bell, and walk with us through every word, every promise, every breakthrough. Because the next time you press play, it could be the very moment your breakthrough arrives. This is more than a channel. It's your spiritual home, and you're always welcome here. Amen.